Interestingly, this idea came to him after seeing a bracelet designed for long-distance couples. This is my sixth video in the smartwatch programming series using the CrowPanel ESP32-C3 1.28-inch IPS capacitive touch display, and let me tell you, this video is being made especially because of a request from someone in love. There is a guy who wants to gift his girlfriend a smartwatch and he wants to add features of his choice. He has the same display as this one and is following my videos to create the smartwatch. He has already covered everything I explained in the last 5 videos. Now let me tell you about the changes and new features he requested. Number 1, counter modification. He asked me to work on improving the counter feature of the smartwatch. Now let me tell you, the counter itself works perfectly. When you press the plus button, it increases the value, and when you press the reset button, it instantly sets the value back to 0. Simple, right? But there is one problem. The counter value gets completely wiped out if the smartwatch is turned off or reset. Imagine spending all that time keeping track of a count only to lose it when the watch powers off. That's frustrating. So, to fix this, he requested that I save the counter value in the EEPROM. With this upgrade, the counter value will stay safe and sound no matter what happens. To make things even better, he also asked me to send the counter value to the Blink application so he can monitor it remotely. Pretty cool, right? And this is just the first feature he wanted me to work on. Let's move on to the next one. Number 2, adding a keyboard. He came up with an interesting idea, adding a keyboard widget to the smartwatch. This would allow his girlfriend to connect the smartwatch to any Wi-Fi network she wants. Number 3, vibration motor control. This was the feature he emphasized the most, controlling the vibration motor through the Blink application. He explained why this is so important. Whenever he messages or calls his girlfriend, she is often unavailable. Maybe her phone is on silent, or it's charging, or she is spending time with her family and isn't using her phone much. Interestingly, this idea came to him after seeing a bracelet designed for long-distance couples. That bracelet vibrates to notify your partner, but it's expensive and lacks additional features. So he thought, why not include something similar in the smartwatch? This way he gets the same functionality plus a lot more in one device, and that too for a few bucks. Number 4, feedback feature. He also had a unique idea for a feedback feature. He wants the smartwatch to work with the Blink application in a fun and meaningful way. Whenever his girlfriend presses the screen of the smartwatch, the LED widget in the Blink application will start blinking. It's a simple yet thoughtful way to add a connection between the watch and the application. Let's go ahead, modify the counter, and add all the features he requested for. In today's video, you're going to learn a lot of exciting things. So without any further delay, let's get started. Log in into your Blink account and create a simple dashboard like this. Add a button, LED and gauge from the widget box. Then go to data streams and create 3 data streams, V0, V1 and V2. Assign them to the button, LED and gauge respectively. If you have never used Blink before, I highly recommend watching my getting started video on Blink and ESP32. I will add a link in the description below. Next, open the program which you can download from our website electronicclinic.com and paste the Blink template ID, Blink template name and Blink authorization token at the top of the program. Then open the Blink IoT application on your smartphone and set it up exactly the same way. We will use this button to control the vibration motor on the smartwatch. The LED widget is for the feedback and the gauge is for displaying the counter value. Now let's open the SquareLine Studio. In the last 5 videos, I have covered a lot of things. In part 2, I made a counter. In part 3, I created a digital watch. In part 4, I made an analog watch. And in part 5, I added drop-down menus to set the time. So make sure you watch those 5 videos first. Alright, let's continue working on the same project. On Widgets tab, scroll down and click on Screen. You can see Screen 4 has been added. Next, we need to import an image to use it as the background. For this, click the Add File into Assets and select the PNG image. You can see the image has been added in the assets. While Screen 4 is selected, go to the background, set the background radius and color. Next, scroll down, click on the background and select the image to set it as the background. Next, scroll down and set the border color and width. Then click on the outline and set the color and width of the outline. I think it looks good. The choice of colors is totally up to you. Just go ahead and try different colors. You can also spend some time on styling to make it look more attractive. Anyway, while the screen 4 is still selected, click on the Add Event button. Set the trigger type to long pressed. Set action type to call function. Then click on the Add button, check the Do Not Export function and write the function name. We are done with the screen 4. Now, for entering the Wi-Fi credentials, let's go ahead and add a fifth screen. On the Widgets tab, click on the text area to add a placeholder for entering the SSID. Enter the default text. Activate the one-line mode. Next, name the text area so that we can easily find it in the variables list on the Arduino side. Now, let's add another text area for entering the password. For this, simply duplicate the existing text area. Set its position, write the name, and then you can write the default text. Why not to write the actual SSID and password to quickly connect it to the cell phone Wi-Fi hotspot? For the password, make sure to check the password mode. Next, let's add a keyboard for entering the Wi-Fi credentials. This keyboard really looks cool. Let's say we enter the SSID and password using this keyboard. Now, how to save these Wi-Fi credentials in the EEPROM? Well, for this we can add a button. Select the button and on the Inspector tab, scroll down and click the Add Event button. Set the trigger type to released. Set action type to call function. Click the Add button, check the box and write the function name. Next, select the text area and on the Inspector tab, click the Add Event button. Set the trigger type to clicked. Set the action type to keyboard set target. Then click the Add button and select the keyboard and text area. Now, follow the same steps for the other text area. Now, the keyboard is ready. Let's play the simulation and check if we can write in the two text areas. Great, it's working. Now, we don't need a Bluetooth application or a web server for entering the Wi-Fi credentials. We can type in the SSID and password using this keyboard. For the screen 1, 2, and 3, I have already added the screen change events. Let's also do the same for screen 4 and screen 5. I have already explained this in the previous tutorials. Now let's play the simulation. Our setup is completed and now let's save the project and export the UI files. Go to the UI files folder, copy all the files and then paste them in the Arduino project folder. After pasting all the files, then go ahead and open the Arduino file. In part 2 and part 3, I have already explained where to find the screen properties, how to enable support for large fonts and how to locate all the variables. I recommend watching part 2 and 3 to learn how to avoid errors. There is just one thing you need to do every time you generate new UI files. Change LV color 16 swap from 0 to 1. Now let's go to the main Arduino file. As you can see, the code is quite long and explaining the new code I added will take a lot of time, which could make the video very long. Plus, we also need to run the project, So to save time, I have written the code explanation in an article. After reading the article, you will have a clear understanding of the complete code. You can copy the main code from the website, and if you need the full source code of the project, you can download it from my Patreon page. Anyway, I have already uploaded the code, so let's go ahead and watch this in action. Right now, both the smartwatch and my phone are connected to my home's main Wi-Fi router and everything is set up perfectly. Let's dive into the counter functionality and see how it works. Using the plus button on the smartwatch, I can easily increase the counter value step by step. What's even cooler is that this value updates in real time, not only on the smartwatch display, but also on the Blink application. Whether you are in another room or halfway across the globe, as long as there is a Wi-Fi network, you can monitor the counter in real time. Pretty awesome, right? Now, imagine this. When his girlfriend uses the counter for the speed, he can feel connected to her no matter where he is in the world. That's a unique way to stay close to someone, isn't it? And here's the best part, he specifically requested that this counter value should be saved even if the smartwatch restarts or turns off. So let's test it out and see if the value gets saved. Wow, this is just amazing. As you can see, the value hasn't been lost. It's still exactly where we left it. For demonstration purposes, I have set the counter's maximum range to 100, but don't worry, you can easily customize it to any range you prefer. Now let's talk about the reset button. She can use this button anytime to reset the counter back to 0, but here's the smart part. I have configured the reset button's trigger type to long pressed. This means that even if she accidentally touches the reset button, the counter value won't reset to 0 unless she presses and holds the button for a longer duration. This feature is a great way to prevent accidental resets. Now, if I swipe my finger to the left, screen 2 will appear, showing a digital watch with a custom watch face designed in Figma. There are also two drop-down menus for setting the minutes and hours in just a few seconds. If you are curious about how these drop-down menus work or want to create something similar, be sure to check out part 5 where I go into all the details. Trust me, it's worth it. If I swipe my finger to the left again, screen 3 will appear featuring our stunning analog watch. The animations and details really bring it to life. If you are interested in learning how to animate PNG images, you should definitely check out part 4. Not only will it help you create amazing analog watches, but it will also give you insights into designing custom gauges for your projects. Now, if I swipe my finger to the left one more time, screen 4 appears, and this one is really special. I put a lot of effort into it because it's designed to connect long-distance couples in a meaningful way. This screen allows two-way communication through the Blink application, and it's honestly one of my favorite features. Here's how it works. When the boy presses a button in the Blink application, the smartwatch vibration motor starts to turn on and off, instantly letting the girl know that her boyfriend or husband is thinking about her. And to make it even more exciting, I have added a background color toggle for a visual effect. Instead of just changing the background color, you could even add cool animations to surprise your partner. Just imagine one button press and your loved one feels connected to you no matter the distance. But wait, it gets even better. This communication works both ways. When the girl touches the screen on the smartwatch, an LED in the Blink application starts blinking, sending a feedback notification that she is also thinking about him or is available to chat. You can even create your own secret codes for some playful and fun interaction. What's even better is that the notification works no matter which screen the girl is on. When the boy presses the button in the application, the smartwatch will automatically switch to screen 4, ensuring she doesn't miss the love signal. Compared to smart bracelets, this idea is on another level. Smart bracelets are expensive, lack customization, and don't let you add fun features like these. With this smartwatch, you have full control, change the design, check the time, and add anything you can imagine. Lastly, let's connect this smartwatch to another Wi-Fi network. If you remember, in SquareLine Studio, I already entered the credentials for a mobile hotspot Currently, the smartwatch is not connected to the phone's hotspot, so let's click the apply button to save these new Wi-Fi credentials to the ESP32's non-volatile memory. Now, I'm going to turn off the smartwatch and restart it to see if it's going to connect to the mobile hotspot. Amazing! It worked perfectly. The smartwatch connected to my phone's hotspot without any issues. Let me know in the comments and what you think of this idea and share your thoughts on what features I should add next. I would love to hear your suggestions. So that's all for now. Support me on Patreon for more videos. I hope you liked today's episode. Like and share this video with your friends. See you in next episode and thanks for watching.